There you go. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we'll go to board minutes for approval. For March 22nd, 2022 decision.
I'll move to accept that.
Well, okay, I just am wondering, when we were talking about Chad Kuhn, the local contractor, and it wasn't really on the agenda. We were just kind of talking about it. So because we were talking about it and it wasn't on the agenda, it's still being minutes, is my question.
It can be, it's just, he didn't have time to get nothing ready or nothing, because this is kind of, we were just starting to mention it because he was there. So I brought it to attention just in case. So we can leave him in there. It was.
I know that we had asked it be on the agenda for this week, and
He didn't have time, Blanche, to get
who
nothing.
didn't have time?
Chad.
Okay. So, and then we're gonna hear from Chad, right?
Yes.
Okay.
When he's so damn busy that he will get with us, and he's gonna be in there working for
What's this about?
that, putting that tin up. If we buy the materials, he'd do the free labor on the shed next to the bar, because they're fixing the bar all up. And he said but it's gonna be a while anyway, so I don't, I just brought it to attention just so we kind of knew about, in case you heard through the grapevine. But
Well, that's my only question on the minutes, if that needs to be in there, because it wasn't.
I
in the
think
agenda
I'd leave
item.
it in there due to the fact that we talked about it, and then now that we know and people can read and say, oh, well, that'd be all right,
Then
Is
I
that-
second the motion.
Any public comment on them? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Minutes have been passed. Okay, we're into correspondence.
This top one too is the lady I told you about, the pinwheels in the courthouse lawn. That's the information on it. Oh, Elena just put her hand up too. Elena put her hand up too when I stood up to grab those. I didn't know if she had
I don't
comments.
see her.
Oh, I
All
did.
I got is a cross through her.
Either way.
Here, I got it.
Oh, whoops,
here.
sorry, I hit wrong. Hit
No,
water and then I hit.
there you go.
something.
Now you can see it.
Good morning, Elena. Go ahead. Sorry, I hit something and I didn't see your hand there.
That's okay.
I'm
For the
fine.
record, this is Elena Gagliano, and I came in and I didn't know what was going on. Apparently, the meeting already started. I didn't know who was there. I had no clue that you even doing the board minutes. So
Not my fault. I said everything and we did the pledge and that. I'm sorry. Maybe I hit something wrong. We're not perfect, Elena. We're not gonna get into this today. I'm trying to. do
I
the best.
understand. I'm sorry. I understand that, but you are the chair and you've been doing this remote viewing for 2 years.
I have
So,
not
I'm
computed.
sorry, I'm just telling you what happened this morning. See, Mr. Adler, you always do this. I'm just telling you that I had no idea what was going on. Because the people that are watching, and there are more than just I, don't know who's talking, what you're talking about, or anything. And that's all I am saying. Now I know that you're on correspondence. Thank you.
Elena, if you joined us late, that's not our responsibility that you didn't get everything that you wanted to hear and we weren't doing things correctly. But we were talking about the board minutes, and if we were going to chat, or Chuck made a motion to accept the minutes, and I had a question on the minutes and it was answered for me. So, and then I seconded it.
She has another comment.
Go ahead. Elena, go
This is
ahead.
addressed to you, Blanche, from me, since you mentioned me. I did not come in late. I always come in early. I came in at 8:55, waiting to be entered into the meeting. I didn't get entered into the meeting until about 9 o'clock. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
We didn't start till after 9.
I know, we don't start till 9. She knows that.
Couple minutes.
We
after
did the
9.
pledge, we did everything right.
So when there's a statement or when there's the computer will say recording in progress, nothing is said until that recording in progress is stated from the computer. And it seems to me that when that statement was made, Scott most certainly started the day.
And then I bumped something here when I was trying to get that. I'm learning. It's this computer stuff.
Okay, we're going to correspondence.
Yeah, we're in, yeah,
Nice.
no. I think we're doing,
So I'm kind of lost here. What did we start with correspondence with? Is this the?
yes, just that. That's all I've handed over to you, just on that. And then I'd wait until you looked at it and then got a letter from Elena. She's saying apparently another discussion and decision done while the meeting was closed to those attending remotely. Muted mics. Elena, you can add this to the previous correspondence, thanks.
There was an
And
email,
then Billy,
there was an email prior to that on the back page. And the prior, there you go.
then there's another one on the back here that says from Elena, thanks. I kind of expected that my second request that the MCA public record statutes regarding the draft of the meeting minutes discussion wouldn't be on the agenda. Guess you proved my expectation right. And your reason, BTW, so what's been amended? We went by what Blaine told us and it's all fine. So now we're going on to from Vanessa Home. A full functional exercise on the Flint Creek Dam, Georgetown Dam. The functional exercise will take place at the Phil's Cafeteria from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You have been invited as a key stakeholder or as an emergency. This is, feel free to reach out to me or Jackie Bolster.
Can I have a question
Yeah,
on this
go
letter
ahead,
from
sorry.
Elena? She's saying apparently that another discussion and decision was done while the meeting was closed. What,
I don't know.
what is she saying? She doesn't say what discussion or what decision was made. She just apparently says another discussion.
Well, she's pretty much saying that we're doing stuff when we shut the mics off, making motions and moving on, and we're not. We've never done it. It's, the next one's from Frederick Collins. It's on DEQ solid waste training schedule. There'll be some new training updates and that. If they come in, would you give these to Paul and he can give them to the solid waste people? The next one is from Michelle McNeamy. And it's minimum allocation grant award letter. My original email got kicked back from the commissioner email. This should be correct now. See my message below.
Basically, the Phillipsburg, they received their minimum allocation grant award for their
Okay.
drinking water project.
Thanks, Billy.
And I sent that to the town of Phillipsburg.
That's all on correspondence. I'll wait till you guys look at that stuff and we'll move on.
Elena has a comment.
Go ahead, Elena, on correspondence.
Point of clarification, this is Elena, to Blanche's question regarding my correspondence. My original email dated the 24th. I specifically asked again for the Montana codes annotated. That had to do with the public record statutes. I asked for that the week before and that it be on the agenda, and it wasn't on the agenda, and it's not on the agenda here. I'm still waiting for the Montana codes annotated regarding public records. And that's what I'm still looking for. And hence my second, after Billy answered me, that was my second one, where I said apparently another discussion and decision. Does that clarify it for you, Blanche?
So you're saying apparently we had another discussion and decision about the Montana code annotated, is that what you're saying?
Well, you decided, Scott just said that you had a conversation with Blaine and you decided. Well, did he give you the Montana codes annotated, the specific codes? So that wasn't answered, okay? And he gave you an answer. I don't remember the answer. When did he give it to you? If it was on the agenda specifically, then I would have seen it and the discussion would have been there.
Have to keep it. I'm waiting for Blaine to get here.
Well, this is correspondence, okay?
I know.
That has nothing to do with Blaine's answer. That's correspondence. And I specifically asked for questions that it be on the agenda and the discussion. During correspondence is not the same thing. So that's my remark for the record. Now
We're moving on to public comment.
Okay, I have a public comment.
Go ahead, Blanche.
This is on the minutes of the meetings. I know last week that Elena was saying that she wanted the draft minutes, and we told her that we gave the minutes that were approved by the commission, and that according to 2-3-212 minutes of a meeting, I think we're following that guideline. It does not say drafted minutes will be available to the public. It says minutes, not drafted. It says a minutes approved by the commission.
Thank you.
That's been my opinion. If it's gonna change in the legislature, it needs to clarify that. And, maybe they will here coming up, but for right now, that's my legal opinion.
Thank you. And I
So,
told her
and then-
that's what you said last week, and
Okay, and so what Elena is saying is that we made the decision when the meeting was muted not to put it on the agenda by her request because why?
That's just a decision the chair can make, unless, if two of you want to go in and have it on the agenda and change that, then you could, but
well,
So-
it just seems like we go over this every week, and we keep telling her the same thing, and she's not happy with the way I'm running the meetings. And this morning she starts again, and I hit something here, not on purpose. I don't know. I'm learning, and I'm trying to explain. She said that, well, you've been at it for 2 years. I've never worked with computers.
you're doing great. You're doing it. I bet it's good or better than any commission in the state on Zoom.
And I've asked people that are watching, and I haven't had no, You know, they said there's, you can always get better, but it's gonna take a while.
So-
Accidents happen, you're gonna bump.
Here's the thought too, because the minutes are recorded and they're not designated as the official record. The official record is when we approve the minutes that our administrator gives us before the next meeting. But those records that are there and can be listened to, so they're kind of drafted minutes, I guess you'd say, because everything goes public from what we discuss here.
Not minutes under the definition, but it's an exact recording of what went on, so it's available to people.
Well, and then it's just like Blanche this morning, she had some questions on some stuff that we were talking about. I mean, it's not, we're not hiding nothing. It's, she's making an assumption that we're doing stuff when we shut the mic off and that. And it's not, I just told her that we've talked about this and that's it.
Here's another comment.
Go ahead, Elena.
Elena Gagliano, for the record, I know that it is now 9:17 and the public comment period is over at 9:15. But since we are still talking about it, Mr. Adler, don't assume what I'm asking or doing, okay? You do that an awful lot. This is public comment. It is not a discussion regarding the draft of the minutes or the codes or anything. And I've attended a heck of a lot of these meetings all over the state of Montana. Okay, correspondence, you read the correspondence and then you kind of decide what you're going to do. Is it a letter to thank the person? Is it to put something on the agenda? What? Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. You do not have a conversation and discussion regarding the request that was made. That's for clarification, okay? And I think Blaine would agree with me on that. And I don't recall the code being brought up last week, 2-3-212, because I have other up-to-date codes from MSU, from local government. Thank you. For the record, I want that down. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Road and Bridge Weekly Report. Superintendent Paul Alt isn't here today. He's at Macker's
Which explain what that is, please.
and they go over for the it's a road. They got
Training. Is it trained? Is it
there's
trained?
training
Yeah,
and there's there's stuff there, and this is where we found out about them rollers and stuff like that. They have it every year. It's
Just
a
vendors there.
vendors and
Well, I'm just new and so I'm learning about this. So I didn't know that maybe I did know there was an association for just road superintendents and commissioners.
it's for us too if we want to go. I got a call, but I didn't. They can go over, and he took 3 guys with him, and it's kind of nice. They get to run new equipment and stuff and look at stuff, and that's how we found that oil and stuff, that cheaper oil. That guy gave us a better deal on it and stuff like that. It's
Make contacts there,
Is there any public comment on the road and bridge?
I
Blanche?
have a question on the road and bridge.
Go ahead.
I'm full of it today. I noticed that Paul last week or the week before said that there were roads that he couldn't blade because there was still frost on the roads. So,
Ice and water.
Huh?
Ice and water.
ice and water.
Yeah.
Which is normal for this type of year, so they couldn't be bladed. But he didn't specify which roads.
I think he was just throwing that out because he drives around and looks, and then he ships them out. He goes every day and looks, like, just say the Dunkelberg Road, I drove it yesterday and it would have been good yesterday to blade on, but now today it poured rain and drumming. And so see, it's just, you're gonna have, every road's different with the different gravel and dirt in it,
Right.
same as up with here
But
and that.
why can't he tell us which road that has the ice.
I guess we didn't ask him to. I know the one that he was talking about was Bear Gulch, cause I. asked
Well,
him,
because
said,
I don't know how to ask him these
Oh.
questions is. the
No,
thing.
you're fine, but like the Bear Gulch Road, there's a, right there where the millings from years ago, they were put down before I was, anyway, right there's great big potholes, well, they're full of water. So he was
The
waiting.
only point that I'm making is that he had to put the crew back on 410s because he was gonna be so busy blading and hasn't been able to blade. And so they could have went on their 410s at their official time, is what I'm saying.
Well, it's, you know, even if they did on their certain timelines, it's the weather's due to the fact that, you know, you gotta have we don't wanna start trying to suck water out of the creeks and hauling water, and then like this morning it was 32 degrees down in the freeze the pumps up. I mean, you gotta go with what you got to work with at this time of year.
I know, that's what I'm stating.
But I mean, we could be this way next week, it could start pouring rain and he, like go out and
Absolutely.
blade the roads and have big mud holes.
I just made my
We don't know that. I mean, we don't know what it is.
That's what, I'm not sticking up.
That was my best guess. It started early.
And if we're gonna do this every year, then maybe we need to visit with the union on starting, because they have had a set date forever. Now all of a sudden it keeps getting changed every year because,
Well, the weather changes too.
huh?
The weather changes.
Well, then
too.
why do we even have a set date?
In the, one thing I'll say, we started bringing this up, the date up in the union negotiations, beginning of big, this kind of quagmire we weren't able to resolve that issue. So I think I'm a proponent year by year too, because trying to get them to put this language in there, they wouldn't agree to it.
Okay, see, I didn't know this, so I didn't understand.
You wouldn't think it would be. You think you've had an agreement like that it could be flexible, but it's just turned into a can of worms.
I just remember years ago, it was on the date set, there was a certain time that they went on 410s and a certain time they went on 410s. And it wasn't due to the weather, it was due to the union negotiation.
Elena,
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. You mentioned knackers. What's that? Is that an anagram? What's that an anagram about?
What?
What
She
does Montana Association of
Yeah,
County Road Supervisors?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, or something similar.
Can you just say what it is? M.A.
I can't.
Okay, the 41st Annual MACRS Conference in Great Falls, March 28th.
Okay, wait. M.A.C.H.
MACRS,
Mackers.
Montana Association of County Road Supervisors.
Association of County Road Supervisor. Thank you so much, because I was at another meeting that they said they wouldn't have a commissioners meeting because they were attending that. And I didn't know what that was. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment on the Road and Bridge Weekly Report?
Talking to former Commissioner Slaughter, and he said someone from Lower Rock called him up and chewed him out over the road. They're like 20 minutes, and he let him go on, and then at the end of it, he said, "Well, I'm not a county commissioner anymore."
They've been down there blading and that.
So I maybe was.
No, I heard that too. But they've been, Ken was down there the other day, but like Brewster Creek and some of them, they're in the shadows of the, not getting the full sun yet. It's still muddy and that, and then the frost is pulling, so. There's some of them, they're gonna happen, and then they went up Gillespie, but there's a lot of them roads, you just gotta jump around. I see the state's been down there looking for gravel too. They're gonna start tearing up the highway. I heard in May, maybe. But right now they're having a hard time finding gravel or a pit to make gravel. Have you guys heard anything about redoing from Highway 1 from Drummond to Peterborough?
I'm-
It's the plan, because their emails, it is certain, MDTOT, MDOT did a survey and then,
That's what, yeah, I
This,
just,
this year?
they're talking about, but they're having trouble trying to find stuff, because none of, they changed the specs maybe or something, and a lot of these pits aren't making the specs. Is what I heard. I just thought I'd pass that on, but we can always,
they need it.
And they said they're gonna put that rumble down the center. I hate that rumble down the center.
They make it a little too wide sometimes, or you're still in your lane. Yeah.
What? I do.
I just chuckle. Any public comment?
So we're still talking road.
Till 9:35.
Like I said, I'm just full of it today.
You are. You're right on it.
I was looking at the Makers Conference agenda, preliminary agenda, and it made a comment of, let's see, where is it? It was state bridge inspections and FHWA postings. What's that?
The state bridge, we usually get a thing either every year or every other year. It's right here. They give us a bridge report and they'll give us on what's,
Oh, okay, so the bridge report is here? and then we
yeah,
can-
there's we usually get stuff from, and then these are, a lot of them are just Department of Transportation bridges too, not just ours, but they give us all, and then they show us what ours are, and then, yeah, usually, I think it's every,
We got
I
one
don't
this
think it's
year.
every year.
I think it's every year. We got one this year. I sent it to Paul.
But
So
they
it
go
should be
out.
here in this office.
I think we have one here
We
too.
get one, and
Yeah.
usually Paul, we gave, like last year, we gave him one too.
Okay,
It's
so
here.
Yeah.
this is just something that I think in my,
You can go through and they used to take pictures and everything of
Yeah.
the certain bridges, just say like Stony Creek, and they take pictures above and below. And then they recommend, they'll say percentage and stuff. It's here.
so it's here somewhere if I wanted to,
I'll find it for you.
They emailed it to us too, and I think they emailed it to the
Okay.
commissioner email, and I can send
It's
you.
pretty interesting, cause then you look and see like some of them state ones, you know, that the department. They,
Okay, I
what
would
they're
just-
gonna do. No, but, and then on some of that stuff, if you see something that you think you might wanna just recommend, just say, hey, would you guys please go to this? We can tell them, go to it. And
well, I didn't even know anything about this. I missed it. I'm not doing my job, I guess. But I'm learning.
Doing fine, that's all right. But if you see something on there that you might be interested in, there's 4 of them over there.
Okay. Then they're gonna be there through Wednesday.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's mostly, a lot of it is, you know, they're just sales pitches and stuff like that, a lot of, but some of that stuff's pretty cool though, you learn on it, and Paul's brought stuff back before and showed us, like set on that oil and then how you can change it, and that guy come in here and he tried to sell us some of that other stuff, and it's just, I told him be careful on signing up for stuff, because we don't want all them salesmen, you know, be really kind of picky. Plus, we don't have no money, so.
So
That's
I'll
I
take
told
free
him that.
samples.
I told him that. I tried to get them all to have one room too, but they wouldn't go for that. That 5 minutes.
Good discussion on road and bridge.
when I drove up that Bear Gulch there, you know, it was pretty dry up to about the 3 mile. And then you get up there and pass there, and all of a sudden you get into them dark corners, and there's still a couple inches of ice and, you know, snow along the inside. And that's why he's jumping around too, Blanche, and just trying to get stuff where he can. Got a lot of sand left from this year, though. We shouldn't need a lot for next year anyway. That'll help.
Say that again.
We still got quite a bit of sand left too, you know, so down in Drummond there, that at least that'll help on the budget too.
That's good.
The, that notice is getting in the paper for the dozers and.
Yeah, I had a couple people ask, well, why are you buying it? I said, no, we're not. We're just getting bids out due to the fact that if we get this set up, we'll soon do it ourselves, and make some money.
Well, there's a good article in the newspaper about it. Clarified, you know.
I
Hillsman
don't,
Mail had an
oh,
article
I
on
don't,
their page
I don't,
on the, road project, what's the name of that road?
1589.
1589.
Is it 1589?
Yeah.
I can't, I believe, I remember that.
I wanted to say 98, but nothing.
I just went 1589.
So that is a good article in Hillsman Mail.
I did have one guy talk about that Black Pine Road and coming on there. He was thinking that if they did adjust the speed limit, all that's gonna be is a speed trap. I said, well, we're trying to get it for the safety, come over that hill. Why don't you put it back up? He said, that's private ground. So I explained it, he's like, oh, okay. He says there's enough speed traps in Granite County. Okay.
You know, people from out of town are frustrated with Paul, you know, they've been sliding down around that, but yeah, that's a safety issue too. Going through
Well,
all
there's a lot of people cross that road
Yeah.
right there.
School. Right there.
So to clarify that 1589 road, are they for sure doing it? Or is it just something that we need to have dozers available to help with the Forest Service?
They're for sure doing yeah, they're gonna have to kind of do it, whether county needs the,
We don't,
yeah, you don't know yet.
we don't know the specs on it or what they're really, I mean, tell a person, we don't know if they're gonna need a bigger excavator or a dozer. That's the only reason we put it in there. All righty, we're gonna move on to the Brandon Parrott Dam Tenders Report, Georgetown Lake Outflow Review and Decision, 6428.39, 13.32 inch of full pool. And on Brandon's, everything looks good.
So once again, I'll make the motion to stay where we're at, and like I mentioned earlier, that we don't get 6 to 8 inches of rain, in my opinion. I mean, 6 to 8 inches is all the water didn't run out. I don't think it ran into the lake, it just went into the ground. Who knows if that'll make, a lot of that won't make it. So, yeah. I kept track of precipitation all these years I've been out there. And this is tight.
It's scary. It's dry, you know, and the frost come out quick. I mean, it went in the ground, but damn ground's so dry that it's, boy, I've never seen some of these places where we always seen water run off. There's nothing. So, I guess, is there a second on that?
Oh, I second it.
Any public comment on it? Being none, all in favor? And that we're leaving it at 6, right? Okay, just wanted to clarify. Motion carried pass, thank you.
We hope March leaves like a lion, right?
You know, say we started out at 8 inches below. And then we have to, when we have to do 15, and we have to jump it up to 30.
Yeah,
We're gonna be in the total.
I see some guys already starting, trying to get their water going too. I mean, they're local, like, farming that, they're scared.
Say that again.
The people are trying to get water going already. It's not,
So I hear that and I think it's the heater going, but it's that.
Yes,
Why does,
but-
why does that do that?
Because there's so many electronics
Oh.
on, I think, and they-
is the ice completely off up there?
Off there?
Georgetown, have you been up by there?
No, it's still on. But driving by, when you come around that corner, it is low.
yeah.
It is really low. I'm going, oh,
They were ice fishing snow this weekend at the pump house.
Anyway,
They were ice fishing out there.
yeah, I've seen they're still ice fishing.
Well, I just gotta hope Mother Nature comes around and gives us some moisture.
normal spring, and we wouldn't get it. Hopefully, we wouldn't get it.
You see, Discovery got some snow last night.
Hey, I got 2 tenths of rain.
No, I don't know what we got down in Drummond. It was rained. It rained pretty good, but then you get the west of there, and it's never hardly got anything. Like down at Fairmount, and that's it. Any public comment?
Fairmount didn't get it, or they did?
They got just way less than you come more this way. It kind of comes south of us there, and they just poured their whole back. I mean, not poured, but it's a lot wetter up here than down there. See a lot of people in the river already in rafts. I guess they might as well enjoy it now because it might be down.
Trucks pulling around rafts here.
Did we ever hear back from Brad Learman? Remember he said he wasn't there that week, and the next week he was gonna.
they didn't get an email.
It's been like 3 weeks since he said he was gonna get with us. I wish they'd stay on board right like now, especially where this is pretty nervous, but it seems like then all of a sudden nobody, when the emergency, boom, then everybody, but it'd be nice to have some comments and stuff from everybody on this. But he did say he was gonna get back with us, and
The
he
next
never
week,
has.
and he never did. I'll reach out.
Well, weren't they saying a little while ago that there'd be no problem filling the lake? with the snow?
Yeah, they think so.
Same thing.
Yeah, see, and that's, I think next week we better get something from the new guy. I can never think of his name. I won't keep on.
Todd,
Yeah, maybe we can get something, see where Peterson Meadows is sitting on the percentage and stuff like that, and just see where some of these others, Silver Lake is, it's Just maybe we can
Hang
find
on,
out,
is that noise that you,
No, it's the thing.
is it that again?
but
It
you know, a
it really
person.
is, sorry, it's background noise and I can't hear anything. So
Yeah,
I got shot.
it's that,
no, I don't hear it.
you don't hear it.
Oh, and Jeremiah is on.
Background noise.
Whenever you guys are ready for your next.
Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
Jeremiah is on.
Oh, I was just saying that it'd be nice to get some information from people that, you know, like Brad Learman, and just before the last minute, and then they all, you know, the lake people, just let us know.
So Billy, do you send them an email saying that they're on the agenda and can they be on, or what? How does that work with,
The last, we sent something, you know, when Brad was gonna be on there, and then he said that he was gone, which that's, you know, he had plans, but then he was gonna get with us, and we haven't heard nothing
They
again.
just get sent an email, right?
Yeah, the
They
lake's kind of
send
a different one than like when people are typically on the lake. I just have like a group of people I send it to, like, that are interested parties that are, we're gonna discuss this, can you join us? Kind of a thing. I have a lot of people I send it out to, unless there's someone just specifically you wanna hear from.
I think Betty's on. Scott McDonald. I was just reading some of the people that are on. I don't know who the 5290118 is. But there's a couple, like Scott's a rancher and Betty is. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the Flint Creek Dam full exercise task order number 4. Discussion and decision.
And Jeremiah is on.
How are you, Jeremiah?
Hold on.
Oh.
Put it in the mute request.
Are you there?
only 9?
Ah, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I guess I'm 2 minutes early. Sorry. We gotta wait till 9:55. I was looking at my. Yeah, we're 2 minutes early. Can you wait?
I can, yep.
That's why I looked up there. I got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. Use that one because that's what they see.
okay. Oh, 1 minute now, Blanche. See, I'm learning. I
You
just,
don't want to get yelled at.
no. Well, and then, you know, and that's what I was trying to get at, see who's on the side there, and I hit something and I just won't touch none of it. Billy, Billy. Get over here.
Scott, are they letting you run the show over there? That's kind of scary.
We even start, I tell you this morning. I know where you live.
I thought you were up on the IT. Don't you run the IT department there?
Remember that check you want?
Denied, right?
Uh-huh. All right, it's 9:45. Go ahead.
Well, you guys have our task order to assist with the full functional exercise on Georgetown Flint Creek Reservoir. Basically, you guys have to run functional exercise, which is a complete test of the emergency response if there was a failure at Flint Creek. And so we did that, I guess, I think it was December of 2017. So it's been 5 years for it's requiring you to do another one. So our charge and what we would help you with is all the initial planning, putting together the whole sequence of events, which is kind of the biggest time consuming thing, because we have to basically run through an entire scenario, develop responses, or I guess questions, actions, to develop response from all the emergency managers. So we've kind of already started the process. Jackie has picked a date. I think working with FERC, May 14th is when that will be, on a Saturday. It'll be most of a day to conduct that. So that's what our task order is. I guess the big thing in there I wanted to point out to the commissioners cost wise is I've got 2 people attending, because looking back at as I was putting together the scope, going back through the after action plan report and comments we got from FERC last time, I hosted the functional, or I was the moderator, and I was the chief dam safety engineer. So I was kind of had 2 hats, and they didn't like that because as the chief dam safety engineer, I'm supposed to be partaking in the functional and, you know, assisting with response and how I would respond and such. And so I've got this time included 2 people attending that day, so somebody can moderate and then and kind of run through everything, and then I would kind of be part of the emergency response team and be part of it. So that's kind of, I guess, part of the overall cost. So any questions with that?
Can we get a break on the cost?
No, it's gonna cost more.
I tried to. I know how it is with the dam. I try to be real cautious of anything we have to do there, because it just what everything's costing you guys.
Okay. Jackie, do you have any comments on this?
I do not. Sorry, I got a few things. Jeremiah and we discussed doing a LEPC meeting, and we might be able to do that virtual on the 27th of April, just to tighten up things for the exercise.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on this, public comments? Elena,
Elena Gagliano, for the record. Jeremiah, you were saying that this is going to be for the 14th of May. So apparently this is the correspondence, I guess, that was read earlier, or kind of. A letter from Vanessa Hone. Is that what it is? Jeremiah? Okay.
Oh.
Could you please, was that Jeremiah?
task order.
This is just the task order for Great West Services to assist the county in conducting the functional. I don't know what was read earlier from Vanessa.
Okay. Because there was a correspondence read earlier saying that this was going to be the date, May 14th. And there was a question, Phillipsburg cafeteria. Where's the Phillipsburg cafeteria?
That the full exercise will be taking place on that date. And
I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
She's trying to answer you. And you're
I can't hear her.
Yeah. it's
Elena?
Cool.
Yes, who's this?
This is Jackie.
Hi,
The
Jackie.
exercise will be taking place in the Phillipsburg School cafeteria.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Jackie, because it just said Phillipsburg cafeteria on that letter.
Well, where
Thank
else
you.
would a cafeteria be?
I don't know. That's what I was asking. Phillipsburg cafeteria. Could have been a new restaurant that opened up.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Go
Brandon
ahead.
Perry is
There's a
calling.
phone call. Go ahead, Blanche.
So, whoops. He hung up. But, I mean, in a situation like this, when the phone is ringing and we're in the middle, you can't really answer it, right?
I did. Could you see who it was?
Yeah, it was Brandon Parrott.
Oh,
He was late.
gotta be on time, Brandon. Anyway, Jeremiah, we're back to you.
Okay, yeah, I guess I don't have anything else unless the commissioners have questions about that, but we'll, we're kind of already moving forward with things. We've got the save the date out, which I guess we were just discussed there, to make sure it's on everyone's calendars, because we need attendance from all the emergency managers. We invite the town mayors and their council members as well. I think last time we had close to 30. DNRC, FERC was there. So yeah, I mean, it's a kind of important to have everybody to run through this functional.
Okay, we'll make sure we get stuff out, Billy, to get stuff out there, buddy.
Hey Jeremiah, does it matter that on the task order you sent me, it says draft in the background?
No, the commissioners can just take action on that. And then I'm waiting. Our admin staff was out the end of last week, so I couldn't get you down the signed copy of it, but I'll get you down the original. And then it can be signed as long as they take action on it today.
So, I'll entertain a motion on this.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to sign the task force.
I will second it.
Any public comment on this? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion been carried and passed. I think that's it on this stuff, Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's all we had for that. So we will, we're off and running. We already are. Anyways, there's a lot to get done before May 14th. So, and Jackie, just let me know if you confirm that date for the LEPC meeting, and we will have stuff to kind of go through with everyone then. That way we have time to revise it before the functional.
Okay, Jeremiah, this is May 14th is, explain that again. This is before the functional, before the actual task order.
The LAPC meeting would be in end of April to get ready for the.
Oh, to get ready for what's happening August 13th.
May
May
14th.
May 14th. It's
is
happening May 14th?
Is that functional exercise? yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yep. The May 14th is the date of the functional. It's a Saturday. And then we are planning to have, or I'd like to have an LEPC meeting at the end of April. So maybe April 27th to kind of go over all the draft measles, they call it, which is basically the action requirements. And then that way we can fine tune things, we can add and kind of get things ready for the functional.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any comment, Jackie, on that? She's still muted here.
I sent her a request.
Oh.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, sorry, Scott, what was your question?
I was just, if there was any other comments on that, I just didn't know if you heard him.
Yep, I'll be sending that out like today.
Awesome, thank you. Good job. Okay. Well, we have 6
All right.
minutes. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yep. Take care. See ya. Bye.
All right, bye.
Good having him. He's good. Yeah.
We'll go off till 10.
And Jack.
Hmm? There you go. All right, we're back on. It's 10 o'clock, right sharp 10 o'clock. And we're request to begin holding courthouse employee meetings, discussion and decision. Last week I had a couple people come to me and I think it'd be good just to talk to the people in the courthouse and see what we need and just kind of update and see how everything's going. And I was hoping everybody would show up.
Vicky's coming.
Right
I know
now-
Vicky's coming.
Vicky's coming. I was hoping the janitor, just stuff like that, so we kind of know what the needs are or where we're headed and what we can do to help each other, and I just think it's nice to have an update. Well, go ahead, Sarah, you're first.
Well, we've been cleaning, doing a little spring cleaning. and
You gotta give
things
your
ready.
name and what.
Oh, Sarah Graham, clerk and recorder.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I don't know, I think that it's kind of the catalyst for sort of the spring cleaning things is, and Vicky can tell us more about that, is the DMV wanting to have some space in the building. And so we've all kind of been shifting around, moving things, cleaning out. Uh-huh.
Okay, and I see the couple road crew guys were up today helping carry out the heavy garbage or throwing out the heavy garbage, which I think is awesome, so somebody don't get hurt.
Yes.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
and moving some
Bigger.
table and some cabinets.
Okay,
So were you talking about employees meeting monthly, or are you talking about this meeting right here, talking and doing this
I thought you were gonna-
regularly?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about setting it for a later date, not having it today.
no, just having it, just so if we need,
So it's Communicating today about things and doing it.
Yeah.
regularly.
Oh,
cause they were talking about, you know,
Yeah.
spaces and people doing
Yeah.
stuff. I thought that's what the,
yeah, I thought you guys were talking about whether or not you were gonna start having those or not. So some people, I told them to plan on it maybe for next week. if you guys
oh,
decide
I
not to
just,
today.
I took
I'm
it,
sorry, I should have.
no, you're
communicated
fine.
better.
I just thought that, you know, that way we know what's going on. Don't hurt to have an update.
Yeah, right.
So as elected officials, do you ladies feel that we should have meetings with?
I think it'd be nice, like, I don't think we need it once a month or anything like that, but maybe quarterly,
Yeah, we got them
Just
quarterly. I just
checking
threw
in.
it out because I didn't.
kind of check in and.
See if anybody has any complaints, questions,
Well, I think it'd be good.
suggestions.
And you might need something that we have to get it on the agenda, you know, that say you needed like them desks and chairs and stuff that I told you about this morning, the old
Surplus,
estate
yeah.
and the surplus over in Helena.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that. We all work together and help out.
They have a catalog, don't they?
I guess
Look,
when
that's
I,
our chairs for
we usually just haul it.
Is that how this came about? Yeah.
A lot of times, cause I know Jackie Bolster was looking for a couple chairs too or something else, but they have filing cabinets, everything over there, so it might be something that one of you might want, or.
You know,
What,
us
I don't-
chairs are a big thing. I mean, we still have the chairs that you sit down.
They have really nice chairs,
Uh,
really nice, they're like these, but they're new and that. But I don't know, I just kinda, and then we were talking about moving stuff around and make room to utilize the courthouse a little better. And It's up to you guys, you're the ones that are here, not, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I was,
Offices being moved around.
What's the plan for DMV or?
I'm- My suggestion, they want it over there because they thought, oh my gosh, this big room. But my hope is that they will be happy with the middle office down there. Because it's, handicapped accessible. It wouldn't be much for the state of Montana to come in and wire it, because the wires are just right there.
But the elections office is already wired, right?
That is true, yeah.
So didn't you guys, I thought you guys were gonna discuss this and
Yeah, so which office were they?
Their middle.
The middle one or the old superintendent of schools?
No, the middle one.
how do they
Because
test them?
that's
There's
still-
no room down there. It's one
Yeah,
little
but they
square.
Yeah, but all they have is just a desk with their equipment on it. Somebody can be in a corner. They don't need and actually, I think it's a kiosk.
well, I think too, where it's handicap accessible would be way better
I think
down
it's,
there.
yeah, with handicapped accessible, so,
Cause then we don't have to try to redo something.
yeah.
Or make the elevator, but to get an engineer. to work
No,
on it, work on
I'm
it.
talking about where the county health is.
I just assume they
So
done that.
Sarah, you had kind of an idea that you and Billy and were mulling around and
Go back over.
Hey,
because of moving, we might as well move things that, and didn't you put it on the agenda, Billy? for-
I was gonna have it on your guys' agenda for next week to have like a department head department kind of come in and share their ideas on space with you guys. I was gonna show you guys the floor plans for each so you guys could see, and then have each department head kind of share their idea, and then you guys vote on it. And call
Okay,
it a day.
well, I don't know if we have to, if it's a vote or what's better for what's gonna happen in this courthouse. But for one thing, it was mentioned, move Billy upstairs, put the JP in Billy's office, and then have their office, yeah, I mean, this was, and then have that office in there for a,
For the elections,
Uh,
or, oh, yeah, the one across the way would be like kind of more of a conference thing, or
Yeah,
whoever needs, kind of like how they have that room, the one that she's talking about for the DMV, like Chad could be in there, whatever, it could be an all inclusive. But, and the other thing, then I got to thinking, I'd like to keep it as the counting room for voting and stuff, keep the 450 in there because there just wouldn't be enough
Yeah.
room. But then moving the computer and all of my election stuff into the
back where it
Break
was.
room, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm not speaking for the judge and that, but I don't know if that desk will be able to be moved over into there.
Well, yeah,
what desk are we talking
The
about?
judge's desk, that raised.
she would like to move there into that office.
What about the health, though?
And the health would be, the mental health would be her office.
With her office,
And
maybe
then the
two
county
offices.
health would be in the middle of the
In the
solid
middle.
waste office.
I have one question. Would, I know the judge in the past has had concerns about being next to public health because when they do vaccinations and crying children, is that, I would just follow up with her on that.
Well, I guess
I
that's
know it
what
was
it'd
a
be
big
like, if we
concern.
put it on for next week, we can hear,
Get
the-
everybody's.
yeah, hear
Get
everybody's stuff.
everybody here, yeah.
I don't mind all the more, I just don't wanna get into a big tearing stuff down and trying to build and make it work.
Exactly, and I think
I'm
that's
not
kind
into
of why
cutting up the courthouse to
we're-
make,
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I'm talking about the way it's done, so it's just moving from one, so it's not building and tearing and, yeah,
I just don't wanna start cutting up stuff to make it
No.
work.
exactly. No, we're
And
we're
one
right there with
thing,
you.
I don't know if you're thinking about that wall in the JP's office, that is not a, retaining wall. It is a wall that was stuck in there for, no, it isn't.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but they, we were. You were going. So we were just.
Jeez, you are wound up
Let's
today.
just be upfront here. We were actually in here the other day and we were discussing it. And I went down and visited with Debbie and her clerk and Billy, and we went into Billy's office and we looked at it, and it would be perfect for her. She really, because it has the two doors that she's always wanted, where she can go in. Remember how she wanted to cut up the elections office and put a door in there?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Still nothing yet.
I'm not-
I mean, this is what we're discussing, and then we came up and Sarah was saying, well, she would give up the elections office and put it back. And that could even be a multi-purpose office.
Mhm.
Cause where
for-
you're talking about the lunchroom thing there,
Yeah, yeah, so that's where the computer and all of the filing cabinets and all of the, storage and stuff would be in there. I would still keep the 450, the big counting machine, I would keep that over there, just so that because it is so bulky. And when comes time to do the counting, there's more room across the hall for all
well,
of the
that's
people.
fine,
So
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
and I'm
that's,
thinking, you
So
were
that would
thinking,
just be one of the
oh, sorry.
purposes.
You were,
I'm not moving, I'm frozen.
so, don't choke
Before you
me.
speak, he's agreeing with you.
I'm not moving.
I was thinking, so, the podium could probably be broke down and moved, her podium, her desk.
Okay.
So just a suggestion. We want it,
I
and
think
then,
if it's something like that, have somebody look at it and come in and see if it,
yeah, well, it's
and
gonna,
then kind of make a plan, so
Yeah.
if they're gonna cut it down, or not cut it, take it down, that they know what they're taking
Yeah.
apart, so they
Yeah.
can set it back up in there,
a carpenter maybe?
yeah.
Okay. I
I'm not
think-
shaking my head.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody that knows what they're doing. Is there,
What do you think, Vicki?
did we ever get the phone for, Or is
So
that-
I'm not allowed to make adjustments on our Blackfoot account, so, Becky was calling.
Okay.
and getting it.
this is, I just, so the janitor's room had a phone.
Yeah, and Becky did talk with Chris, yesterday, I believe, and Chris
I
is
mean,
gonna
that's
get back to
just-
us at the end of the week. Somebody's gonna take a look at it, and they'll also be taking a look at, just to see what it would be to do the other room, the break room, getting that kind of
Okay.
wired too, because it doesn't have any.
And there was nothing to do with, Hotman's room, the Karen's, right? Leave them as is.
As the county extension?
Yeah. an extension.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I just.
Yeah, that I'm not aware. Yeah. I just, yeah,
Well, I think it'd be good that everybody come in and we'll kind of have a heads up and see, and then we can hear from the
Yeah.
judge, and that's all I was thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll invite them all in next week.
okay. Any other comments on it? Carol? You're quiet, you haven't said nothing.
You're good upstairs, right?
I'm good. Just
Are you
leave
good
me alone.
Wanna be downstairs?
Anything else?
Any public comment on this?
I guess on the agenda, item, do we have to make a motion? It will help. Or is it just discussion?
It
Just
said discussion
decision.
decision, so I suppose we'd have a motion on if we're gonna do, move ahead. That way we can have it on the agenda.
Okay, I'll make a motion at a future date, we begin holding courthouse employee meetings.
Any public comment on this?
So are you thinking like when you say employees, is it everybody or just department
I think
heads
department heads,
only?
I
well,
think,
why not? It'll
I
be-
think so, cause then they can, the people that work under you and that can come to you
You-
and
yeah.
then you bring it to us. I think that'd be better than us going past you to them. That's my, that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, like the janitor, but we have the department heads, and she's a department head,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Being no, that's the only public comment on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion been carried and passed. I think it's a good deal. I do. I think I can sit down now and then, quarterly, not every month, just quarterly or whatever, in case there's something leaking or you see something that needs to be up, I'm just, whatever.
forward thinking stuff, kind of like next week.
You guys can update us, like, how stuff's going with the dome and.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you can look on the agenda and just come in when you see when we're talking about that.
Usually it's just a phone thing, he calls in, but it's been, yeah. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks,
All
guys.
good.
Uh-huh.
We'll get,
Alrighty.
appreciate it. We'll go off
So
till
we'll
10:30.
See you next week.
All right, we're back on ongoing negotiations with Flint Creek Hydro with Judge McLean, discussion decision.
So I met with, or not met, I emailed Matt Williams, the attorney for Electric Hydro. He had been out of the office, he said he'd get back to me. Been a week and he hasn't. Also, I followed up with John Fitzpatrick, who is a consultant for Northwestern Energy. He got some information for me, he's still working on, he's got contacts who potentially know of an expert on cost analysis for dams. So he's working on it, and that's probably getting an expert hired to give you a report on that is probably the step to get things going, negotiations or litigation.
Well, I guess we could, we'll make sure.
Have a question?
Go ahead.
I was wondering, because we've been doing this for how many months now? If you could just maybe refresh the public what we're asking for.
Okay, so the county has a contract with Clear Creek Hydroelectric LLC where the county gets 10% revenues right now. They get, Clear Creek Hydro gets 90%. That changes in several years, and the county will get 20% through 2050. Right now, the county is responsible fully for the maintenance on the dam facility. Clear Creek Hydroelectric is responsible for the hydroelectric plant. In 2050, they'll revert back to the county. The issue is here in the last 5 years, there's been county believes unforeseeable costs that were not foreseeable when the county entered into the contract with Clear Creek Hydro. The law is clear on that, those unforeseeable costs should be equitably shared, fairly shared, not just put on one party. So getting that expert give expert opinion on the unforeseeability of those costs would be necessary for litigation. I think you wouldn't have a case without that expert opinion. So the issue is finding that expert, and let's try it. I've reached out to, I've emailed professors, I've looked online, I just haven't been able to find anyone.
Well, we're kind of at a standstill with Judge McLean, correct? We need to maybe to start looking for those experts.
Well, you have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you might be able
but
to,
like working with John Fitzpatrick, I think is our best bet. And I don't think it's not Judge McLean who's slowing things up. It's Clear Creek Hydro needs to get back to the county. Made a offer there of any maintenance costs above the revenues the county receives would be shared equally, and would allow Clear Creek Hydro to do some engineering work if they get credit for some of that cost with that. They rejected that. We're going to come up still with a different offer. That's what we have seen that different offer.
so I think ongoing negotiations with Judge McLean, is that a moot thing? Should we still be trying to reach out to Judge McLean for negotiations, or just end it?
My advice would be to get the expert report and submit it to them, and then I think that would potentially bring them back to the table. The county is not court ordered the mediation, but the county agreed to use Judge McLean. If you don't believe that's working, that could be.
Cause we could use, I know we haven't spent that much, but we could use some of that money to go towards this, you know.
The expert is gonna, there's gonna be cost there.
That was a good kind of thing. Hey, I really good move.
What's in the account? Anybody know?
Huh?
What's in the account?
Oh,
How much?
I think we're fine,
Well, we got all this other stuff.
because there hasn't been any major expenses looking at claims, so we haven't.
You have that,
We put
Oh,
that
yeah.
100,000.
will be
yes,
coming
we are.
out. They
Yeah.
already those things were last month, or we put them in this month? Sure, I mean, in the, after the state. And then the staff order is 13,500, and then the seismic study, we're gonna have to start figuring out, because I think we have to have it done by December.
So that'd be.
That was gonna be like
fiscal year.
60,000.
68 was our last.
And that was a year ago when
Mhm.
we talked to them. So with everything else that went up, I'm scared that that's gonna,
Yeah,
So we're not looking good.
and there was a couple
they
other.
never
firms, I think,
have. And I
for
know we
my-
can't keep dragging from Peter to pay Paul.
You could take that expert cost out of Hill.
Yeah.
I would,
That's a problem though. We all sat right here and said, we're not taking no more out of Pill, but you know, we're gonna be an emergency. It's gonna be an emergency thing, and we're gonna be,
yeah, I understand you there, your guys' call and do it.
well, let's see how this rolls around and see what they come with. And I mean, just not getting back to us is frustrating. I mean, every week, kept this on for every week, and I know they've had some emergencies and shit, but not to even get back to us that's not good business.
I agree.
And I don't care if they hear me. It is not good business.
So why should they?
Yeah,
Because we, we're
they
stuck.
got, yeah.
Okay, I can tell you what the cash is.
Hmm?
Just one little second. I should be pulling this up and having it here, so I can just click on it.
Oh, you're looking at what's in the budget there?
And I was wanting to do this.
Getting a little snow up there, Chuck. Maybe the moisture will start coming.
I need to get a new rain gauge in my house.
It's just though, it's just weird weather.
It's real
It's
isolating.
hazy and then it's like, what the, it's like the end of the world.
Some reason
We're
it's
waiting
not-
on Blanche's looking up something. If
I
the
know, but
public
it's
wanted to
not
know.
letting me connect.
Any public comment on this?
Elena,
Any public comment?
Elena.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano for the record. Blanche, that's a great question. I'm interested also in how much is in the budget, how much cash we got and all that other good stuff. Good questions. Thank you.
No, thank you. It's still coming up. Don't touch that
It's trying
button,
to
Blanche.
connect. It's,
Internet slow. Or they're frozen, they're-
I'm maybe doing something wrong.
Why does your computer blink yellow? Down there by your left hand, right in front of your left hand. What's that? Is that low battery?
Her battery has to be replaced. It only works.
Oh.
with it. That's her new battery is over there on the windowsill. They have to install it.
Well, probably faster because I didn't sign
Where's my
up.
bat? Uh-oh.
I can probably replace that battery.
What did I hit?
You're just hitting buttons.
I know I should. Oh, I thought I shut us off. Yeah, they're just barely touch some of this stuff and it's. I like that. Like a little kid. Any other public comment on this? Blanche is in the other room getting the budget. Elena.
On the note of budget, that link you guys approved for us to get through the clerk and recorder's office that
Yeah.
shows our budget in real time. Sarah had me get a hold of our website people to put a place on your guys' page for that link to go. I guess the links aren't ready yet, but as soon as they are.
Are these them the guys that came in here? The ones
Becky's
that
trying to
set
get
that
on
up?
Black Mountain.
No, I
and
don't
she
know.
can't either.
I don't know, whatever that thing ended up to be, but this one is the one where you could see the budget in real time.
Yeah, I remember
Sarah
you,
told me those links should be ready soon. There's a spot on the website. for
I remember
them.
you talking about it, but I don't know what happened.
The Black Mountain isn't up, so that's why I'm not getting on.
Black Mountain isn't up, Elena, so you'll have to wait on this until, as soon as we hear, we'll let you know. Thank you.
Let's put it on the agenda for next week.
We'll put it on the agenda for next week, Elena.
Yeah,
Put it
we'll
on
have
like
it already.
budget issues
Yeah.
for the. like,
Yeah, just to see where we're sitting and what the forecast and all that.
Yeah,
Okay?
and I could, if I could get up, it would, I'd be able to.
You're trying, you're doing good, you're fine. Thank you. I make a motion that we adjourn, being that nothing else is.
Sound good to me.
Is that a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Elena.